What do you do when you're feeling unmotivated? We all have days like that, and sometimes they're a bit longer. For example, those of us in southwestern Ontario, as I'm filming this video, it has been cold and gray for many, many months, right? So sometimes it's just the external environment that makes you unmotivated. But also, anytime we're on a big, steep learning curve and we're doing things outside of our comfort zone, there are periods in that journey where we are going to be very unmotivated. And sometimes it's just we're not sure what the next step is. So without knowing that, it's pretty hard to be excited about our life. That lack of enjoyment that happens, that struggle and how it feels so hard to keep plugging through. And of course, wondering, is it just me? Isn't everybody else motivated and accomplishing things? It can make us even more unmotivated. But here's the opportunity when we're feeling unmotivated too. It allows us to take a look at our life and see what do we have going on that we're expecting of ourselves, whether it be tasks or high expectations, that is really too much and we can let go. It's also an opportunity for us to revisit what's working for us, what's worked for us in the past, and to make a few shifts and fix a few things. And frankly, one of the greatest gifts that being unmotivated is that you get a chance to ask yourself, what have I been on autopilot about? Because autopilot's not a great way to live. Frankly, it's very boring. And who wants to live in this Groundhog Day, putting one foot in front of the other? It's very exhausting. So, here are some suggestions that I use in my life that I work with my coaching clients to help them when they're not feeling motivated. And for those of you who run your own businesses or your leaders and the whole organization's depending on you, you feel probably an extra sense of responsibility to keep your motivation level high. So not only would I suggest try this with you, but also when you support other people using these strategies, it gives you a boost and helps you to get back on track. So number one, revisit the last time you were unmotivated and what helped you. I could tell you 4 years ago when we were going through a very serious family crisis where we ended up having to make some pretty big decisions, where I left my job and I started my own business and the kids switched schools midway through the year. We moved to a new community. Talk about the circumstances that led up to us having to make those decisions and the monumental changes that were in front of us. It was exhausting and many times we were not motivated at all. But I can look back to that circumstance and I can realize that actually the steps that we took to be able to figure out what that next path was and to be brave enough to take it, I can follow those same steps now. In fact, I was so excited to do that. It got me so motivated to translate that into action that I built a program called 52 Weeks of Greatness, Satisfaction, Clarity, and Direction in Work and Life. And so I work my own steps now because it worked in the past. And what I remind myself is if I could get through that, I can get through this lack of motivation right now. So look at your own journey about how you've been able to get motivated again because there's gold in your experience. The second step is look at ways you can practice your own self-recognition ritual. Whether that is just to acknowledge one thing a day that's worked of all the things that you may be feeling unmotivated and stressed about, or even having a more concrete strategy such as setting a goal at the beginning of the day, even if it's small, and revisiting it at the end of the day. When you achieve goals, even if they're tiny ones, you get a dopamine hit, which is such a juicy chemical that your brain loves, and it helps your mood. Here's the third thing that you can do. You could take a look at all the things that are taking up your time and ask yourself, is there something that I can put on hold, that I can put on the back burner, or even stop completely? When I was feeling very overwhelmed, which kind of paralyzed me from moving forward, what I noticed is that I had too many things on my plate for my business. And that I was having to start making choices about family or work. And that's never a jostling of choices that I ever want to find myself in, because I really consider myself a family first entrepreneur. So the choice that I had to make was what was going to be put on hold or what was I going to start saying no to. And as hard as it was, and I could show you the sheet I have on my desk about how I've prioritized 2 big juicy projects and specifically what I've put on hold. It was hard at first, but every day since then, man, has it been more enjoyable and easier and more productive to get through my work. And I'm doing better quality work too. So Those were the top 3 things that I have to suggest for you to get you back on track when you're unmotivated. Now, you may not be the person who's unmotivated. Maybe it's somebody in your life, maybe it's somebody on your team, and somebody that you know is a rock star and you want to give them some value. Why don't you share this video? In fact, while you're at it, you or your colleagues, your friends, your family could even take 3 of those modules that I talked about completely for free. Just enjoy them from 52 Weeks of Greatness. I'll make sure that the link is included in this video so that you can access them. And see if that helps, right? These were things that really helped me in my past. I hope you found this valuable because feeling unmotivated and beating yourself up about it is such an unfun place to be. I hope you found this really helpful. My name is Sarah McVanel. Be well and be great.